Mediumship readings often bring us healing into now and help us right in this moment of someone passing. But they can also bring healings to something that we've been carrying for decades or answer questions from something that has been a secret for an eternity and shed light on it. In a reading that I experienced today, that exact thing happened, and it was so magical, the healing that came through in it. It started with a father of a child talking about how when he separated from the mother, and the mother was the client, that what happened in regards to caring for the child and then the consequences of not standing up for his ex at that stage and how it impacted her. And he acknowledged the impact of what he did on her and the fact that he let people talk about her and that pain in there. He also acknowledged their relationship, and the relationship was a little bit different. It was one that would remind you of friends or siblings. Like it just had a different feel to it. And he acknowledged the depth of that and the love that they had that felt like that. And then he shifted into really acknowledging his part in the trauma that he caused by not honoring her, not standing up for her when people were talking about her when their relationship fell apart. He talked about how he was happy later, how he got remarried, how he raised the son, and what that looked like. It was a very healing part of the reading. Then her mother showed up, and her mother initially demonstrated personality, showing that she would talk about anything but the hard stuff. And then she shifted and she answered a really interesting question for the client. The mother expressed that based on the era that she was born in, that she was gay, but it was illegal and she had to hide it. And that prior to that, prior to getting married, she was really happy and free and she used to dance and that's the energy that she was kind of holding on this day was this joy and free. But as a mother, she was very different. She felt very restricted. She couldn't show up how she wanted to based on how she would be judged by her religious family that she grew up in. And so she had to live a different life, which meant that as a mother, she would bring that rigidness into the connection with her daughter. It meant that she couldn't express how she really felt. And so she couldn't really express her love like she wanted to. She assumed people could feel it and she felt it, but she could never articulate it. And in the reading, it took her the whole reading to be able to get to that space where she could actually say it. But the most profound part was when she showed me a book and then she referenced the story in the book that was the important part. And the story in the book actually tied back to what she'd said earlier in regards to the story in the book. I meant that she couldn't be who she wanted to be. She had this book, but she couldn't actually be what the story was in that book. She had to be something else. And then when her daughter came out as gay, she didn't handle it because she was triggered. And she didn't handle it because she was worried about what would happen to her daughter. Because when this lady, in her era, it was illegal. And so she was worried for her daughter, what would happen. And so she really treated her daughter quite badly sometimes. And that expression of that, this is why I behaved this way. This is why I showed up this way. Because I couldn't be me. And honoring now, looking at her daughter and how she's embraced who she is and found her happiness, something that the mother could never find. And it was really profound and healing. And then the client revealed that she had recently read a book that she'd been carrying around in her mother's belongings for 20 years. She pulled it out and she finally looked at this book. And this book was a story that was about being gay, and this gay connection. and understood that her mother, as a young teenager and young woman, knew that she was different, but she couldn't embrace it. And then when she watched her daughter embrace it, it brought up that trauma and impacted their dynamic. But this communication and connection through mediumship brought my client, which is the daughter, so much understanding, so much healing, and released a lot of things that she had been carrying. So, mediumship can be exceptionally profound for healing that has been within someone yearning to be healed for decades, sometimes a lifetime. We never underestimate the power of a connection.